line in that chat box letting me know that you can hear me, that would be really helpful. Then I know, hey, my mic's working, y'all can hear me. I know that we've got people joining us from several different places. It looks like we've got a webinar going at Victorville. Frank, Linda, Kim, Karen, can you all hear me? Awesome. Brett, Caitlin. So because we've got so many people in different places, I am going to really rely on your ability to ask questions as we go. Please type them in that chat box. That's going to be the best way to efficiently really answer questions and make sure that we're getting them answered. We are going to be going through how to edit your websites today. The session is being recorded, so you will get a copy of this today. You also will get a copy of a few shortened videos on how to do each individual piece. So as we're jumping in and learning more about the system, I want to assure you, you are going to get the recording. You're also going to be able to watch that and see broken down videos. So without further ado, you all have some beautiful new websites, and you all have a personalized website for yourself. We're going to go through how do you log in, how do you edit it, and that portion of it today. And to begin, your website is your IQ username, which is your first initial last name, .cbhomesource.com. So you can go and you'll type in your first initial last name, .cbhomesource.com. You also can log into your back office, so the mycbhs.com. And if you click on your name in the upper right-hand corner and then you go to website, it will automatically open up your website here. And to begin editing your website, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of your page. And when you get to the bottom of the page, you're going to see two things. One says IQ Office Login, and one says IQ Web Login. When you go to the IQ Web Login, it's going to pop open a box on your screen, and you're going to put in your username and password. This username and password is awesome. Your username and password is the same as your IQ Office. And yes, so I'm glad that you can hear me in Victorville. The screen share feed is a little bit slow, and I will do my best to go slow so that you can see it. Know that I am also recording it with a different software, so the recording that you get is going to be crystal clear. And remembering your username and password is half the battle. Once you enter in your username and password, you're going to know that you're in edit mode because you get this black bar at the top of the screen. And so when you see this black bar at the top of the screen, you know that you are in edit mode. And where we're going to start today is really in choosing the design of your website, how to edit those photos, and we'll move forward from there. So far, do you all have any questions about how to find your website or where to go to log in? The goal of this is that the webinar will be interactive. And so if you can type either yes or no, yes, I have questions about where to go to find my website and how to log in, or no, we're good to go in that chat box, that helps me know that you are following where I'm at. Awesome. So there are some questions there. Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to go to your website. There's a couple people that have just joined us. So your website is going to be your IQ username, so first initial, last name, .cbhomesource.com. And then you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of your web page, and you're going to click IQ Web Login. When you do that, you're going to put in your username and password, click login, and you're going to know you're in edit mode because you have a black bar at the top of your screen. There's a question that says, can you access your website through Zap? No, you cannot. We are a separate company through Zap than Zap. And so the way you're going to access your website is by going to your iqusername.cbhomesource.com. Alberto, I don't understand your question. The address to get to your website is going to be your first initial last name .cbhomesource.com. Tuesday, the URL is going to be, for you, is going to be tnichols.cbhomesource.com. Got it. Awesome. So once you've logged into your website and you're ready to edit, you're all going to start on this design button. At the top left of your screen, you'll see a design button. And when you click on that design button, it's going to pop open a choose template screen. And this is where you can go in and you can change the layout of your website. So at the bottom of that screen, there's a bar with small images. And as you click, you'll be able to click on and see different design options. And every design option has a preview on the left-hand side of what the layout looks like, as well as a bulleted list of the features of that design. So as you're choosing, take some time looking at the layout, looking at the features as you choose your design. When you're looking at your design, I want you to know that every image on the design is customizable. So if I'm looking at design 13 here, and I can see these 3 circles have the same photo in them. Don't let that be what deters you from choosing the design. That is something that is something you can change. Really focus on, hey, do I like the layout of where things are? Does it have the features in the feature list that I want? Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to click Use this design. And when you click on Use this design, you'll notice that that design automatically applies to the layout. Also, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a white edit button. And when you click on that white edit button, it will highlight with a gray circle and a pencil each area of the template that is something you can edit. And as you go in, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about editing the header. So as I click that gray edit button, it's going to pop open an edit screen that looks very similar to the template screen. And I can change a lot of the information. So for each slide, I can change the photo. So I can say, hey, I want to change this photo by clicking the blue change photo. I can upload my own images, or I can go to the realistic images at the header, and I can choose from stock images that are available. You also can choose if you would like to display a caption. So if you want to type in the caption title, you can do that. Gail, I addressed that at the beginning. So I cannot change the resolution of the screen that you're seeing. I am recording this with a different software, so you'll get a copy of this, but you should be able to at least see the general idea of where I'm going and what's happening. I also can choose, there's 3 choices at the top. So if I want to have a video as my header image for the template that I that I have, I can do that. And there are some stock videos in here. So I can say, hey, I like this stock video of the gentleman playing with the dog. I can change the transparency or brightness of that video. You also can go in and if you'd like, you can share your own YouTube video. No problem, Gail. So if you have a YouTube video of yourself, so if Karen has a video that she's done of her and her business, she can go in, you can paste your YouTube video link here. You choose, would you like to mute the video? Yes or no. So do you want that video to have sound on your website? Yes or no. And you would click OK. Once you click OK, you're going to see those changes live on your site. Every time you see this green save button in the upper right hand corner, you're going to want to click that green save button. A few things I do want to just quickly address. One, your website is always live. So as you are editing your website and making changes, it is not taking your website down for your consumers. So they can always go to your website and always access it. And the changes you're making, once you click that green save button, those changes are also live for your clients. 2, we are pulling directly from your MLS every 5 minutes. So all the properties that you have on your website for people to search for are pulling every 5 minutes to your website so your clients are getting up-to-date information. As you scroll down, there is a lot that you can change. So if I look at these tiles and I want to change these tiles, again, I can choose how many tiles I would like to display, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 6. I can then change those photos here with that blue button. There's also a section on the right-hand side of this pop-up that says, hey, what do you want the title to be? What do you want the description to be? What do you want the button to say? So you can say, okay, I want this to be, my panel 3 is personal portal. I want the button to say create account. I want it to go to my portal. You can change where that link goes by selecting on change the link and choosing from a lead source or something like that. And then you can click OK. Again, anytime you change something, that green save button's in the upper right hand corner, and make sure that you click it, because what will for surely happen is this. You will be working on your website, getting everything done, getting it all set up, and then your client that you've been waiting for the call from, so you've been waiting for 6 months to get a call from this client, all of a sudden will call you in the middle of editing your website. And they'll want to see property right now. And there is nothing more frustrating than making a whole bunch of changes to your website, not clicking the save button, walking away, and losing all your changes. So it is very beneficial to use that save button. Any questions on how to edit any information on your home screen, whether it is the tiles or the circles, changing the photos, and that side of it? The last thing I do want to mention is if you want to hide something. So if you say, hey, I don't want this section on my website, there's a very small button on the right-hand side that says hide, and you can click that button and then click OK, and it will hide that section. While you are in edit mode, it will show the call out section is hidden. When you are in the view from the client, so if I log out, it is just going to leave that section off. So it doesn't show any blank space or anything like that for you. Alrighty, so the next thing I want to talk about is how do leads come into your website? Because that is the really exciting part. And how are you notified? So on your website, people can search for a home. There's also a What's My Home Worth tool in the upper right-hand corner. There's also a portal. So my portal is for your clients. This is for your clients and for potential clients to go in and create an account where they can set up their own searches, track open houses, get notifications, and that side of things. As you're learning the system, a good rule of thumb is add yourself to the system, see how it all works from the consumer side, and then you know what it looks like. Also, as they're searching for properties, there are contact forms on the property. So while people are on your website, they are going to see your information on the right-hand side. And they can fill out a contact form. There's also a section that is request a showing. And there are 4 buttons at the top. One says share, one says email, one says text, one says print. And if the consumer does any of those things or fills out a contact form or fills out a showing form, it creates a lead for you. Those leads come through via text, email, and or phone call. We're going to talk about how to set your preferences up so that you are notified that there's a lead. If the lead that comes through to your phone says contact form, it means that they filled out a contact form. If the lead that comes to your phone says request for showing, it means that they filled out the request for showing form. If the lead says my portal or property watch, it means that the client has signed up for a property watch, so that you have a little bit more idea of what that lead is looking for so that you know what it is that they're doing. To set your notifications for your leads, you are going to go to your IQ office. Again, you can access this by going to the IQ office login at the bottom of your website, or you can type in mycbhs.com. And so if you do that, it will take you to your IQ office, and you'll see a screen that looks similar to this screen here. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see your name with your photo. And if you click on your name with your photo, you're going to go down to the profile section. And that is going to open up your profile section. This is where you can go in and you can add your social media links. So you can add your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your YouTube channel. On the right-hand side, this is where you can change your photo. So your photos have all been uploaded, but if you get a new photo, you can easily go in, you can click upload, you can add a file, and then you can choose that photo from your computer and upload it here. There's that photo. As you scroll down, there's one other thing you need to know about, and that is your profile. So this is where you edit your profile information, your about me. So if I am updating my bio, so for all of you on it, if, hey, I'm going to update my bio, I want to know what it says, you would go into that profile text and you would type all your bio information in here. So I can say, hey, graduated from the University of Montana in 2006, been in the real estate industry from 2012, whatever it is about your bio you're going to put in your profile text. Below that is a section called email signatures. So you can go in and you can create an email signature. There is also a button that says email signatures here on the right-hand side, and we have some templated email signatures for you. You can go in, you can select that templated signature. It's going to pull in your information, your cell phone number, your email. You can edit the photo. Once you've made all your changes, you can click save, and it will automatically generate that email signature for you. So again, to get here, we went into our IQ office, we clicked on profile, and we edited our details on the details page. To change how you receive leads, you're going to go to the Preferences tab at the top of the screen. When you click on the Preferences tab, you're going to have a Notifications Settings section. And this is where you choose how you want to be notified of new leads by email, new leads by text, new leads by phone. And your choices are always, never, or use my office hours. So if I say, hey, I want to get an email about a leads during office hours, I always want to get a text, and I never want to get a phone call, I put all that information in. I'm sure to click save in the upper right-hand corner. And to set my office hours, if I scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen, there is a section that says my office hours where I can set my daily office hours. So again, to get here, we went to our name, we went to profile, and then we went to the Preferences tab. The top of the screen is where you choose your notifications for leads, tasks, showings, and email. Any questions about how to get here? So your first task is logging into your website and choosing your design. Choosing your design, saying, hey, I want to use this design. And then going through and saying, all right, I'm going to edit some of the photos. Okay, I like this. This is what I'm going to choose. And moving forward. Again, remembering to click save. Your second step that you're going to do is to be going into your IQ office, clicking on your name, going to your profile, and setting up your social media links, making sure your photo is the right photo, and also setting your video profile or your profile and your email signature. And then lastly, going to your Preferences tab, making sure that you're receiving notifications about leads the way that you want to receive notifications about leads. Any questions so far? That's a ton of information in 23 minutes, and there's more to come still. We're not done. But I want to make sure that you feel good about choosing your design, editing your images, and editing your profile preferences. If you don't have any questions, if you can type no in the chat box, that would be great. If you do have questions, type Y in the chat box and then go ahead and let me know what your question is. Awesome. Thanks, Gail. Any questions at all? Karen, Curtis, Denise, Roy, anyone that's in the Victorville office? I want to make sure that I'm not going too fast. Cool. Thank you. So the next part about what we're going to talk about is this. You have a really nice web page for people to go in, to search, to find information about what their home is worth and capture some leads. There is also the full capability to create your own pages. So if you want to create a page on your preferred lenders or your preferred home inspectors or information about communities or new listings pages, you can absolutely do that. To create your own pages, you're going to go up into the black bar and there's a section that is called Pages. And when I click on Pages, I am able to add a new page. So I'm going to say, okay, hey, I'd like to add a new page. There are two types of pages you can add. You can add a standard page, and that means, hey, once you go in, you set the information, it's there forever and it doesn't change until you go in and update it. So for example, this template number 6 that has one header image and 3 columns might be a really good template for something like home inspection or home inspectors in the area. And you can have a big picture, and then you can talk a little bit about why it's important to use a home inspector and what questions they could ask. And then you could feature 3 home inspectors below that if you'd like. There are also templates called dynamic page templates. And a dynamic page template means this. It means that the information on the page is pulling from somewhere else. So, for example, a listings or areas template, one of these first 3 templates, all are pulling listings from the MLS. If you're doing an agent's template, because you're an office manager, those are pulling from your agent roster. The type of page I'm going to create today is a listings template because really editing the text and the photos in this is very similar. It's exactly the same as editing the photos and pictures in this, but I want to make sure you can see how you would change those listings. So I'm going to select listings template 1, and then I'm taken to my add a new page. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is give my page a name. So maybe this is hot new listings to the market. And the title of the page is new listings. There is a place to add a description. There's also the ability to add meta tags. Does everybody know what a meta tag is? Cool. So this is really a simplified view. How many of you remember when we used to go to the library and actually look up books in the card catalog, like the paper card catalog that had a card in the box? Awesome. So on that card, there was some information. There's like the author, the call number, and then there was usually a little description about the book, like maybe like a 1-sentence description. And then there was a section that talked about where it was in the library, what section, what subsection, and that part of it was like a little bulleted list about the book. A meta tag data is like the bulleted list on the card catalog for your website. It's how the search engine, so the Google, the Bing, the Yahoo, it's the information on the back side of your website that says, hey, this website is about new listings and real estate in Victorville area. It's a short bulleted list of data that the search engine reads about your page that validates what your page is about. That's what a meta tag is in a nutshell. It is a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the simplified version. The description is like the 1-sentence description on that card. It tells a little bit about the page. It matches what people are putting in their search engine. And at a glimpse, it tells them, the consumer, what it is about. So the description is something that people can see. The metadata is something that only the search engine sees. I'm going to click no, not at this time, because I want to show you how to get back and do that. The box below that right here says, do you want to add it to a menu? Again, I'm going to say not at this time, because remember, your website is live. And so until you've got information on a page, you don't necessarily want it to be something that a consumer can find. On the top right column of this box, there's a section that says registration. And is registration required? So if you want people to have to register to see the information on your page, you're going to choose yes. Once you choose yes, this becomes a landing page for your website. So it's going to ask them to register for their site. There are several types of registration. We're going to go through this because I know on your screen you can't read what it says. So the first type of registration is nag. So a nagging type of registration is like your mom asking you to clean your room when you're growing up. So every third time she walks by your room, she asks you to pick up your dirty socks. That is a nag. Okay, I want them to be prompted to fill out a form every third time, every second time, every 14th time. How many times between visits do you want them to be asked to register? There is an offer. That means, hey, I'm going to offer it. I'm going to offer it every time you come, or after the second time, every time you come. But after a user's been on your page once, twice, 3 times, whatever you set on that visit, they are offered to register. They can close out of that registration and still see the information on the page though. The last type of registration is forced, and that means they get to your page, they cannot see the information on your page unless they register, and you choose, hey, they have to register the first time they're there, the second time they're there, the third time. How many times do they get to visit for free before they're forced to register? And that's what you do. Below that, there is a section that says lead source. And so you're going to want to choose the lead source so you know what it is. I recommend using the website contact form. And once you've set all that information, you can click OK. When you click OK, it is going to generate the page for you. So I can see here is the page, and it's got some listings coming up, and I can then go in and edit the page. I can edit the image at the top, go in, upload my own images, or I can say, hey, I want to use this image. I then can go in, I can edit the text. The text that is a placeholder is written in Latin. We do that intentionally because we know if we write something nice in there for you all that you'll never go in and change it and have it be custom. This is a really good place to put information about the market. What's happening in the market, what information do people need to know about, how fast properties are typically moving and things like that. This is a great place to put that style of information for this type of page. You can change the font, the size, the color. You can do a lot of editing as far as the layout of the text. There's also some tools down here that you can use, including inserting a lead form. So if you say, hey, I didn't want to make it a registration page, but I want to have a registration form on my page, you can click on this little orange IQ icon. You can say, hey, I want to use the standard contact form. I want it to be a website contact form. Click OK. And then I can go in and it's going to show. I'll show you what this page looks like. We'll log out at the end so you can see the finished product. Again, there's several things that you can add. So you can add optional YouTube video links. You can add a blog link. You can link to Yelp. So you could say, hey, I want to show Yelp and I want to show entertainment, restaurants, shoppings, and home services. And then it's going to show a little Yelp section right on your web page where people can go in and find out information about what's close. Then comes editing the listings. So if I click on edit the listings, I am given the option to show only my listings, yes or no. Show only company properties, yes or no. What type of property do you want to show? Residential, multifamily, commercial, or land? There's also some styles. So if you wanted it just to be houses or just to be townhomes, you could do that. You can type in the location. So if you want this just to be Victorville, or let's see, just Victoria Falls, you could type that in there. You can also delete that out if you don't want to. You can again put beds, bath, new days, reduced days. You can really narrow down what's shown. Once you've made all your selections here, you're going to click OK and save. And that is then going to display all of the listings that fit that criteria. There's also a section that says, hey, optional listing statistics. And you can go in and you can say, hey, I want to show the statistics for these listings. How many are available? What's going on? I narrowed down too far. Here's what's available. Here's what's happening. This is what's going on. So know that you can easily do that. Once you've gone in and edited all of your information on that page, you can then go back in and attach it to a menu. Again, we've put information on here. It's ready to go for the public. Now I'm going to attach it to a menu. To do that, I'm going to go up to the menus button in the upper left-hand corner, and I'm going to edit that menu. Then I have a choice. So right here on the right-hand side, I'm going to choose Custom Pages. And then I'm going to say, okay, I would like to do my hot new listings to the market. The menu header I want is new listings. And then I can choose, do I want it to be a top menu item? Do I want it to be something underneath my portal or what my home is worth or for sale? Once I choose, I click Add to Menu. And once I click Save, that item is available underneath that menu. Here it is, for sale, new listings page. If I decide, hey, I don't want it there, I only want to share it on my social or something like that, you can go back into that menus button and then click delete out, and then it takes it off that menu item for you. If you are going to save this as something you're just sharing on social media that you don't want linked to a menu, I highly recommend using the bookmark page up in the upper right-hand corner by your URL address line. You can click the star, name your page, save it so that it's easy to get back to for you. A few other things that I want to just quickly go through. The first one is, if you are running Facebook or Google advertising, you can attach your Facebook pixel and your Google Analytics to your page. To do that, you click on the Advanced button in the black bar, and there's a section that says Google Analytics and a section that says Facebook Pixel. You can go in, you click Google Analytics, you put in your tracking ID. If you don't know where to find your tracking ID, below the box there's a button that says click here, and there's a description of where to go in your Google account to find your Google Analytics. It works the same way for your Facebook Pixel. Again, you can click there to find it. You can enter in your Facebook Pixel and click Save. The last thing I want to mention is, if you want to add that metadata after the fact. Hey, I didn't add meta tags. I've done some research and homework. I want to attach it. In the upper right-hand corner of any of your pages, there's a section that says Page Options. And if I click on that, there's a button that says Meta Tags. And when I click on Meta Tags, it opens up that page details form where I can add additional metadata, I can change the registration for my page, and I can really edit that information. So if you don't add metadata and you want to go back and add it, you absolutely can at any time. What questions do you all have for me? Because that is a ton of information in a very short amount of time. And this is my advice on how to break it down. I know that the Victorville office is going to have a little session after this so you can really go in and start designing and working on your website. Please, between now and next Wednesday, I would highly encourage you to spend a minimum of an hour. I would love to say an hour a day. I know that's not realistic for those of you that have a busy business, but I'm going to say a minimum of an hour between now and next Wednesday working on your website. If that is 15 minutes for 4 days, awesome. If it's 30 minutes today and 30 minutes over the weekend while you're watching football, that's great. But the most important pieces of this website or this webinar are that you take the information you learn and you automatically are putting it to use. Otherwise, you'll forget it. Curtis asked, is there a place or a page template for reviews and requesting them? Curtis, there is a place in the back office for requesting your reviews. It is not on the front end, but yes, it can happen. There's also, and Katie, this is exciting. I don't think you know this. There's also a section when you're in your back office and you click on your name and profile. Underneath your preferences, if you scroll about halfway down on here, there's a section called Zillow, and you're automatically defaulted to have your Zillow testimonial show on your About You page. If you have a different email address in Zillow than you have on your actual account here, so if your email address here doesn't match your Zillow, you just need to put in the email that you have in your Zillow underneath your Zillow email address. And what that looks like is when they go to your profile, it will show your Zillow information here. So let me actually go to the company site. I'm going to look at the agents. If I type in Curtis, so Curtis, here's your Zillow reviews. They're all right here. So they show on your profile. Other questions? We've got about 15 minutes before we need to wrap up. So please ask any questions that you have. Is there a way to attach or add backlinks? You mean in your profile? So the question is there a way to attach or add backlinks? I think what you mean, Curtis, is there a way to link to other information on your site or add links to like your YouTube or things like that? Yeah, sure. So one, to link your social media, there are boxes here underneath your name that link to your social media. To link that through on your details page, you're going to put those links here. So that's where you're going to put your social link. If you want to link to a vendor or something like that on your web page, so hey, I created this page and I want to put in a link, you absolutely can do that. I'm going to go in right here just real quick. Oop, wrong button. And in the body, as you're typing, so if you're putting your market information and for to get to my lender page or something like that, there is a link button here. And I can say, hey, I want to link this word. I insert the link. I say, hey, I want to open it in a new window. Okay. And then you can insert links. Absolutely. You also can embed video. So if you want to take a YouTube video and you want to embed it, you can do that. What you're going to do is you're going to copy that embed code, and then in the upper left-hand corner, there's a little place for source code. You're going to paste that source code here, and you can embed a video. Please know that if you have a question, someone else on the call likely has the same question, and they just haven't asked it yet. So I want to make sure you're getting all the information for your business on your websites today. Refresh your page, Caitlin. There are no issues with any of the web designs to my knowledge. I will tell you, Internet Explorer is not a very friendly web browser. So if I'm doing any editing or anything like that, I am using Google Chrome or Firefox. I'm going to send you with that question, Caitlin, to your team there locally. Because without seeing your computer, I don't know the answer to that question. Yeah, sorry I was not as much help as I'd like to be. One quick note, if you're uploading your own photos, please, 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 please make sure they are photos that you own the rights to. You've taken them, you've purchased them from a photographer, you've purchased them from a stock photo. All of the stock photos underneath that realistic tab, you are more than welcome to use on your website. We have the rights to use those on our websites. If you're uploading your own images, you need to make sure that you're following all the rules. You might have, Alberta, you might have had to do that for the webinar, yes. But for getting into your web page, the Zoho webinar software and your web page are totally separate. Yep. Awesome. So here's what to expect. Between now and next Wednesday, I want you all to put a time on your calendar or a couple times where you're going to spend at least an hour editing your website. Next week, what we're talking about is how to manage the customer relations part of this. So your CRM, how do you upload a list? How can you add contact types? What does that look like? And that piece of it. So once a lead comes in, what can you do with it? So there's a lot of information next week. You will get an email today. It will come from your office. It will have a copy of the recording along with some breakdown of information so that you can better use the system. The more you use the system, the easier the system gets. Every session will be recorded. Every session will be emailed out. So I highly recommend that if you can attend, you do. This is the best place to ask questions. However, if you can't attend, know that you will be getting a digital copy of it. Trainings, the next 3 trainings will be the next 3 Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And bring your questions. We're ready to answer them, and I'm super excited for your guys' launch. Alrighty, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end. Thank you all.